They call him the Cannon Rush Gods. In the blue, representing Finland, the Moz-Zero.
Goblin pylons at 12. Okay, so Goblin knows. Goblin knows he's about to get Cannon Rush, so he actually cut a probe to get that pylon first, or at least faster.
Get the gateway quicker. So, he needs to get in there, and he does. That was so important. If that had been closed off here, I think Goblin would have been in a ton of trouble.
Are we seeing the quickest match of the entire Nation Wars history? Because if the Moz-Zero cannot plant down a single cannon, like what is he exactly supposed to do? He's cannon rushing from the bottom, but this one is pretty far away. I don't even know if he can reach that.
Yeah,
I don't think it can.
The one on the low ground is to cover the ones on the high ground, which previously didn't execute that well, I thought, but it still worked in his previous matchup.
Okay. So let's see, an extra pylon here. Can he get a cannon on the high ground? I think he's gonna wait a little bit for it. Now Zealot.
He sent the second probe much earlier this time around, and that one is like somewhat healthy. So there it is.
Is a cannon gonna win this fight against the Zealot? I don't think he will. Oh, that's going to be a close one. The Zealot will win. Yeah, the Zealot wins.
And the probe could have attacked the Zealot and helped, but
yep,
it was elsewhere.
That's what I expected. Okay, another cannon or another.
That trap? Oh my god.
And the cannon on the high ground is never gonna see the light of day.
Looks like it's defended.
Yeah, he knows. He just knows too much about the strategy that the Moz-Zero was about to execute. And right now we've got a Protoss player that has better economy, a gateway that's actually working, the Zealot already on the ground.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen, bro.
Nah, it's not gonna happen. He can GG out, I think, but he'll try his hardest now. Does some kind of a perfect wall and blocks the Zealot out of the main base with a gateway that's being produced at the moment, but that cannon is never gonna be out on the map. Yeah, cannon gets cancelled, probe gets destroyed in the main base. So the Moz-Zero sitting with 500 minerals, but there has nothing to spend money with. Can basically make probes and assimilators, and that's what it's doing right at the moment. He never stops.
I don't even know what to say.
Me neither.
What 1-8?
Whelp. And those cannons on the low ground, I think there will be the next targets.
This is sick, by the way. Goblin blocked that cannon location with one of his own pylon down there. Also to have vision, I guess. And yeah, this is going to be easy defense from there.
GG.
Goblin ties things up.
So the thing is, when you're casting a Serral game, there's not that many, reasons to go intensely into what he's going to do, because whatever he does, most of the time, he does it perfectly. What's more interesting is what Goblin is trying to do, because he's going into a gateway into Forge. So he does want to throw a curveball at Serral. Doesn't want to play a real game, or at least a normal game plan. He wants to make the Finnish player deviate a little bit. And for now, Serral looks like he didn't anticipate that. Does he have the minerals to block the entire zone? He does. So now, Goblin will most likely have a cannon up and running, able to destroy that hatchery.
And Serral's already mining gas here. Here's the thing. Even if you prevent the second base from going up, in this case, even if you had somewhat killed it, it doesn't really matter that much. Serral will always know how to transition out of this. In this case, he even cancels the second hatchery, takes it elsewhere. I mean, it's such a big investment, right? You need to get 2 pylons plus the cannon. He did cancel some of these pylons. And now Serral immediately will be going into Roach and Ravagers. And from there, once upon a time when you did this, you were getting quite a bit ahead if you successfully cannoned the expansion of the Zerg. But nowadays, the Zergs have gotten so much better at understanding what it is they're supposed to do and when they're supposed to do it. Like when they should start cutting drones, when they should make a bunch of units, that I almost feel like it's not even worth it anymore to do these cannon rushes.
What's really interesting to me is that even in those, seamlessly unimportant moves, like going down that ramp with the drone, that like the fastest possible moment ever, it's like, okay, now that cannon is about to die, I can go down the ramp with the drone. It's gonna take 1 hit. My roaches will clean the rest, and I'll get my 3rd hatchery as soon as possible ready on my natural, and that's pretty great. I mean, Serral seems like he's in a comfortable situation. We'll get his 3rd base as Goblin is making a Void Ray out of his Stargates, most likely to defend against that potential Roach harass, but we might see him go into something more aggressive after that.
I love the choice of going for Pneumatized Carapace. We talked about it. Goblin's a very tricky customer. you need to know what he's going for at all times, ideally, when you're playing against him. So Serral realized that the overload that he has around the natural of Goblin already took a beating, so he's going to send another one on the right side, and he's going to check the entire main base. He's going to see the Stargate from the get-go. He's going to see that there is a Void Ray. Might even be able to spot the second one in production, which is a big tell. Like, you need to be going for quite a few queens here to make sure you're safe against this.
All right.
Yeah, there it is. Sees the second Void Ray in production now.
Yeah,
And he knows everything he needs to know from there. He can just... There is no threat on the ground. So what do? You get a ton of queens, you get a ton of units. Second Stargate will start here. He truly is Roddy's son.
He is, but he
Where's
needs to add on the +1.
He will.
As soon as he gets 100 gas, he needs to throw down that upgrade. And then Roddy will be a happy nerd. Look at this.
There it is. Like father, like son.
Like, I can't believe. They have to be. They have to have like some kind of voodoo connection.
They're linked
those
by
two.
the Kala.
Yeah. Hey, it's not even voodoo, it's the Kala. You're right. All right. Let's hear about those Phoenixes. I'm guessing double Stargate Phoenix as a follow-up. I don't see him like building a million Void Rays, which is kind of weird. Double Stargate Phoenix might be the answer, but the Void Rays will do the job. Here, they will be able to destroy that Overlord. Maybe a little bit of damage done to that Queen and Extractor, but he won't be able to get anything else. Lair starts rather late, but it's not a normal game, right, Tom?
Yeah.
5:30.
I mean, Serral can just pretty much decide exactly how he wants to counter this from there. Like, the queens are going to make him really safe against those Void Rays in general, but does he go for a ton of Hydralisks, which is to be anticipated? Keep in mind, he hasn't scouted the second Stargate yet, so he might think this is just like two Void Rays into, you know, Robotech or something, but now being able to follow up Scout, and again, he can see that his Phoenix is being produced. This might change the way he counters this now, right? Because Queens, you know, they're good defensively, but you're not going to walk across the map with them unless you're going to go for something like a Nidus, but then a lot of the time that's a very big commitment. So again, you know, he still can choose from multiple options. I don't think Corruptors would be a good idea because there's already a +1 on the way and it's already double Stargate. Usually it's going to be between Hydralisks or Infestors with Fungal.
Yeah. And I like the additions of extra spores as well on the basis, because obviously Void Rays, you can take care of those with queens alone, because when the queen is kind of slow, the Void Rays are as well. But that changes everything when you're facing against Phoenixes. You need those static defenses that will do the trick by themselves. 3 drones just went down, but it's still a 60 drone economy against the 50 probes of Goblin. But being out of the map, on the map with the Phoenixes like he's doing right now,
oh my God,
actually opens a path for aggression and harassment in the main base. Now, an Overlord would just fall. Also a Queen. He gets the 2 spores in the main, those Void Rays. They're working wonders here.
Yeah, Serral was moving a spore here for a little bit and got completely caught off guard. I mean, he does have enough Queens to win the fight head-on. And we have the transition now out of Goblin. He's going into charge, dropping more gateways. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Templar Archives being dropped down behind this. Goblin is making Serral so worried about this air army that right now that's all Serral's thinking about. But there is already the transition behind this, which hasn't yet been scouted.
And Void Rays are actually getting damage in the main, Todd. That's crazy how good Goblin is actually in those.
He's ahead of supply.
He is ahead of supply. He's also supply blocking Serral, and he might go for a little bit more. He actually hasn't lost a single unit in the game. That's only the pylon and cannon that were destroyed in the bottom. But in terms of units, he didn't lose anything. Are you taking the fight right here, Goblin?
I shouldn't, I think.
There's too many transfusions.
Yeah, they got so many.
Oh, he's actually going to go for it. But you need to lift every single queen at the same time. I like that move by Goblin. It's actually kind of working for now. How many queens are dying? It's down from 12 to 9. And he will lift them up once again. Hydralisk will show up at the last possible moment, though.
Has he lost a unit yet?
Yeah, he lost a Void Ray. He lost a Void Ray, but he's killing every single queen. Goblin is doing it, Todd.
Oh my God.
What are we seeing?
Hydralisks are going to start coming out, but they're going to come out.
Hydralisks are like meat to those Phoenixes.
Yeah, 2 by 2. Phoenix is still somewhat healthy, at least most of them. Can we see the units lost up?
Oh my
the
God.
absolute madman lost 3 units. The mad lad, and he killed 37.
He killed 12 queens. It's like a dream for any race actually playing against Zerg. Killing all of those queens actually make that number 14. Roddy comes into the studio with like the biggest smile I've ever seen. It's like, my son, you're making me so proud. Oh my God. Does he have any energy left though? I don't think he has that many.
Yeah,
available.
not that much, but I mean, he's already done so much damage. 65 probes against 59 drones.
random zealots walking on the
Oh,
creep.
it's not
like,
random zealot. This,
what do you
this
have-
might be the killing blow.
What do you have to defend against those? 12 Hydralisks? That's cute. I've got many Phoenixes. Goblin does it. Goblin takes the game against
Oh my
Serral.
god.
How likely was it that Goblin would take a game? Well, right now, it is so likely that he actually done it.
What a performance. And his unusual style here really helped him out so much.